Hi, my name's Kim J and I'm a visually impaired chef. I'm also a volunteer for RNIB. Now today I'm going to show you how to make potato swirls. What are potato swirls? Well, it's basically potatoes in a wrap with lovely Asian ingredients in it. It's great for hors d'oeuvres just before a dinner party or on a buffet, or you could have it as a light lunch or even as a main course with a little bit of salad and rice. Now, it's very easy to make, and the ingredients you're going to need are approximately 8 potatoes, which I'm going to peel and chop ready for mashing, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 green chilies, which is optional according to your taste, about centimetres of root ginger. You'll need approximately 6 fresh mint leaves, approximately a large handful of chopped coriander. You're going to need some wraps, tortilla wraps, some cumin seeds, garam masala, some lemon juice, salt, chili powder, which again is optional, and turmeric. And those are the ingredients you're going to need for this recipe. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to peel my potatoes. Now, anyone that knows me and has seen these videos will know I love my gadgets, and in particular I love my accessible gadgets. When you're severely visually impaired, you struggle with a lot of things, so having gadgets that make things safe for you is really beneficial, and it's not just for visually impaired people. Now, in order to peel the potatoes, I have a bit of a dexterity problem as well as a sight problem, and I've got what's called a chef's palm peeler, and it's a circular vegetable peeler, and it has a special container which you can fit the palm peeler in, so that when it's in your cutlery drawer the blade is safely out of the way. Now, it's got a ring on it which you slip your middle finger into, and you can then peel the potatoes, and your hand is completely away from the blade, and it's perfectly safe and so simple to use. I've peeled all my potatoes, and the next step is to chop them. Now, everyone asks me when I'm cooking in the kitchen to describe the equipment that I use. Now, I'm going to use, it's a chopping board, and it's a special accessible chopping board which I got from RNIB, but you can have a look at the other shops. And it's red, so I can see it because I can see the bright colour, and it's got like an edge around the outside. Now, this chopping board is amazing. What it has in the centre are like prongs, so I can get the potato, put it onto the prongs, and it stays firm. And for somebody like me who has a dexterity problem and struggles with holding on to this, it leaves both hands free so that you can chop away, absolutely safe in the knowledge that your hands are safe. So now I'm going to chop all these potatoes up, ready for mashing. I've chopped all the potatoes and I've put them in my steamer. Again, one of my gadgets. I love this gadget. And the reason is, for me, it is absolutely safe. When you're visually impaired, sort of dealing with hot boiling water on the hob is dangerous, and there's no two ways about it. With a steamer, it's a lot safer. The boiling water is away from your hands, and the great thing about the steamer that I have, it has 3 tiers. So when you're cooking for a large family, you can cook your potatoes, you can cook your vegetables, your chicken, your fish, steam it. And again, the great thing about a steamer, as we all know, it retains much more of the vitamins and nutrients in the vegetables. So I'm going to switch this on now and then steam it until the potatoes are so soft that it is perfect for mashing. I've thoroughly mashed the potatoes until there are no lumps. Now, you need to be doing the next step while the potatoes are still warm, and that's adding all the rest of the ingredients. So I've got here finely chopped ginger, garlic, finely chopped ginger, the green chilies, and the mint have gone in now, and the coriander. You'll need about a teaspoon of cumin seeds. And as you're doing this, you can smell all those aromas of the spices. About half a teaspoon of garam masala, a splash of lemon juice. I'm now adding in about a level teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of chili powder, and half a teaspoon of turmeric. Really easy, this recipe. And I'm now going to mix it all up until all those flavours have blended together, and then I'll take a taste and I will adjust the spices and the salt. We now come to the next stage. I've mixed all the spices and the ingredients into the mash, and I've now got my tortilla wraps. I'm laying it down flat, and I'm going to put a large ladleful of this potato mixture on top, and with my hands I'm just gently going to press it and spread it on the surface of the tortilla wrap. Now you need to leave approximately half a centimetre gap at the edges, so just keep pushing it in and pushing it in out until it covers the whole of that wrap. Now it's relatively thin, the potato mash, so it's about 2 or 3 millimetres in height. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to take the end of the wrap and I'm going to slowly roll it. So you're basically making a Swiss roll out of this amazing potato wrap. Now if it splurges at the end, just scrape it away. And there you go, you've got a potato swirl. Now there are two methods of cooking this and serving it. The first method is, especially when you do a buffet or use it as an hors d'oeuvre, is you roll it up in a sheet of foil paper which is bigger than the wrap, and you leave it in the fridge for at least an hour to set. And then you slice it up and you can serve it cold. The second method is great if you want it for lunch or if you want it for a light dinner. Now what I'm doing is I've got my rolled tortilla with a mash in it, and I'm just going to press the sides of it so I know where the mashed potatoes end, and then very carefully using a sharp knife I'm just going to chop it off and trim it, and that gives you a much better look. Now I've got a little bit of butter, and you can use vegan butter, and I'm just going to spread it over the top of the tortilla wrap. I'm going to then put it on a baking parchment into the oven for about 7 minutes on 180 degrees, just to let it heat up and go brown. The potato swirl has come out of the oven and it's a lovely, crisp, golden brown, perfect to eat nice and warm. I've also pulled out the potato swirls that I put in the fridge, which I would use as in a buffet as an hors d'oeuvre. Now I've taken it out of the foil paper, and once again I'm going to feel the edges until I get to the stage where the potatoes end, and I'm going to slice it at that stage. It just neatens it up and gives you a much better finish, especially when you're serving 2 guests. And now I am going to cut slices across about half a centimetre to a centimetre thick, totally up to you how big you want to do it. Now you're going to taste this. I know you all hate me doing this, but it's got to be done. It is really nice. You get the hit of spices, the coriander, the chili, the cumin, and then Once that's rolled over your tongue and throat, you get that refreshing mint which just literally cleans the palate. It is a really, really nice recipe. You've got to try it. Now you have a recipe for a great dish. But when you're in the kitchen, there are certain safety guides and rules that you should adhere to, and which keeps you safe. Now, one of the things that I do before I start cooking is I make sure that I've got shoes on that are sturdy with good grips. I make sure that there's nothing on the floor that I can trip over, and there are no spillages or liquid or condensation on the floor that makes it a bit of a hazard. Now, before cooking, the first thing that you do, as we all know, is wash our hands thoroughly. And especially when you're dealing with raw meat at every stage, wash your hands thoroughly. It stops cross-contamination. It keeps you and your family safe. When you're using the oven and the hob, know your oven and hob really well. Now, I use tactile markings so that I know exactly what temperature to put the oven on and what setting, so that I've not put the grill on when I should be putting the oven on. Now, with the hob, whenever you're sort of putting anything on the hob, make sure the handle is not sticking out. Now, I like to keep the handle at approximately 10 to 12. And the reason for that is it's not near enough to the unit for you to accidentally knock it off. It is not over another hob which may be on, so the handle's getting hot. So this is the safest position. Now, if you're boiling anything, be very, very careful. Don't fill the pan up too much. And if possible, use the boiler alert, which tells you when that liquid is bubbling away and it's hot, and it keeps you safe. If you're not comfortable with the hob and the oven, use the microwave whenever you can. It's a lot safer. And every time you are taking things out of the oven or from the microwave, because remember, plates and dishes get extremely hot in the microwave, use oven gloves. Now, I like to use thermal oven gloves. They're a lot safer. Don't be tempted to use tea towels or anything else. And they literally go to extreme temperatures, so you're very safe with them. Whenever you cut any food in the kitchen, use safe cutting methods. Keep the blade away from your fingers, so set it a couple of millimeters away from your fingers, and that way you're safe all the time. Now, if you're not confident with a knife, you can use appliances like food processors. Make sure you know how they work properly, and keep safe. And if you're still not confident, ask somebody else to do it. It is better to be safe than have an injury. If you have any cuts or you cut yourself whilst you're in the kitchen, put a plaster on it. And if you have a burn, run it under cold water. And if it's bad, you seek medical advice straight away. Whenever you cook meat, always ensure that the meat is thoroughly cooked, because you know, raw meat will give you food poisoning. Now, the best optimum temperature to cook meat is between 66 degrees and 73 degrees. Use a food thermometer if you're not too sure. They do have talking food thermometers, which you can get quite easily. And you store the meat as soon as you can. As soon as it's cooled down, store it straight away in the fridge and read the advice on storage on the labels.